How we doing out there, folks? This is John Age coming at you in the outdoor edition of the Anomic Age. I tend to be a little long-winded sometimes, and I thought, you know what better way to make sure I'm not going to be long-winded than to come out here in this god-awful satanic heat in the hellscape that is North Carolina and do some talking. So here we are. Thought I'd take things in a little different direction. I know it's been a while since I've done an information breakdown segment. Who can forget the bugs? And, you know, I've had a great time just doing guests on the show and not doing the information breakdown segments. I don't know if I'm going to do them much more, really. I got a great back catalog of interviews and even information breakdown segments, so whatever, man. I just don't care to do them much more. Because for the most part, it just becomes the what in the world is going on in the world. It becomes the as the world burns kind of thing. And I've really had it with all that. I have no interest in covering news. And it kind of came to me today because I haven't done an information breakdown segment in well over a month, maybe like 2 months now. And I felt great about it. I haven't even really looked at the news in several days, and I just don't care. I just don't care at all. And the best part is whether I've engrossed myself in the nonsense or whether I've just not. Guess what, folks? Nothing changes but the date. Nothing. So I am going to spend more and more time with myself, my family, and just and doing what the flip I want to do. And that's going to be just going back to what the show always was meant to be, just interviews with people I find interesting. So there's that. I know, you don't know, but I know. There's been, I'd say, like one, maybe two guests. And this is one. And I chose not to put out the show, and it's kind of funny. I got comments from some sort of troll about it, and I was like, I do what I want. Did you miss that portion of the show? So I put out what I want, I take down what I want, and I keep up what I want. That's kind of what's up with this whole show. But I didn't really want to get into that, nor the behind the scenes of anything. I just wanted to come out here and kind of take a page out of the I would say, the great David Paulides. He's always doing this kind of outdoor stuff, and I like it, man. I like this outdoor thing. Because here up in the observation deck, it's a little bit cooler than it is out there in the satanic sun. I know it's well over 100 today. It's July 4th. I guess I should say happy 4th of July to everybody. But that's kind of what I wanted to get into today, just the hilarity of it all. The hilarity, the humiliation rituals. It's just downright hilarious, silly, funny even. So I spent a lot of time with the fam for about a day and a half out of town with my wife's family. I'm going to go spend some time with my mom and my family here in a couple of hours. And what I'm really the most excited about is just going to skate. I'm going to skate tonight, probably like 8 or 9 till 11 when they cut the lights out over there. So I'm going to go skate tonight for sure. And I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about doing me, doing life the way I want on my own terms. And I had to look this song up because it's funny the things you remember, the things you forget, but it's an old skate video. It's 411 number 2. I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget. 411 number 2 from 1993. And the band's name is Jacob's Mouse. I had to look this up because it's one of those songs that was always in my head, but I never knew the band. Like every other band on that soundtrack, if you will. And they didn't have a soundtrack. I knew, but that one band, I was like, who the flip is Jacob's Mouse? Some band from England. And anyway, they had a fun little song on there called Going Solo. This time I'm going solo. So I feel very solo for the weekend, and you know, that's got its advantages and disadvantages too. But would you look at at Independence Day, July 4th, what it's supposed to be juxtaposed as to what it is? It was oh man, I'm gonna forget this guy's name. It doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter what his name is, because I'm sure he probably didn't coin this phrase. But he basically said, people fighting for their lives don't fight back. And you can look at this through a myriad of lenses. You can look at it through the learned helplessness, the psychology experiments, all that stuff I've often referenced on this show. And that's so true. That's so flippin' true, folks. Because most of the populace right now is fighting for their lives. And there's a lot of different ways you can look at this. There's the people that aren't fighting at all. They're the people on the dole, on welfare, on EBT, all that bull jive, you know. They're not fighting for anything. And then you've got the illegals, the invaders that are taking up all those benefits as well, and they're fighting for something, all right? They're fighting to take over this nation. But the rest of the people are just trying to figure it all out. They're trying to fight for their own lives. They're trying to figure out how to stretch that dollar even further. And it's the normalization of tyranny. It's the normalization of slavery. Posted a post on this. I should just have begun the show with this. Happy 4th of July, slaves. Because that's what's up. It's slavery, folks. We live in Slavelandia, as the great Gerald Celente has often said. That's what's up. So I'm doing that fighting for my life to survive thing too. I don't get into the personal much on this show, and I won't do it very much today, but you know, I'm at the point in every aspect of my life where I'm just questioning the answers. I've heard people reference it as a spiritual journey. I don't think so. Not in my case. I don't think it's a spiritual journey. I think it's a journey for truth. That's really what the journey's always been. And for me, anybody that goes through life, I think they go through various incarnations of themselves before they get at whatever it is. And various incarnations of myself has definitely always been true of me as well. I think when I started this show, I was transitioning from the not young but still younger version of myself, trying to figure out what the flip all this was about. I was new to politics. I didn't give a flying fig about politics, and I still don't. But there's an ant trying to get into the damn frame. Get out of here, you scumbag. But I went through that awakening from the angry. This guy's still gonna try to take us out, isn't he? If this fool gets in front of the lens, I'm gonna flip out. Going through to that misanthropic, just angry, younger me. Going into the political realm and thinking, oh my goodness, I was conservative all the time. Okay. Well, that must mean I'm Republican. No, I'm not. Took me a minute to figure out the differentiation between these terms and the legitimacy of these terms, in the sense that they want it to be legitimate so that they can properly put you in a peg, in a spot on the wheel. So I'm not interested in that. I never really was. But through that growth process, here I am on the other side. I know all the logistics and basics and way more than that, on all the big conspiracies, on all the big angles, on all the big things you're supposed to care about on the right, juxtaposed to what you're supposed to care about on the left. And it's all just BS, folks. It's all just BS. So, where am I in this journey? You know, some people might say it's a spiritual journey. I'm gonna say forget about it. I'm not interested in that BS either. I'm at the point on this whole thing. I guess what's that? I think it's a Semisonic song. Ironically enough, he says something to the effect of find nothing but faith in nothing. And that's where I'm at. I have faith in nothing, folks. Absolutely, positively nothing. I'm gonna get this ant out of here, I'll tell you what. I have faith in the fact that I can get this ant off the camera. But absolutely faith in nothing. So that's where I'm at as far as that goes. If you want to put that as a spiritual journey, I'd say it's the rejection of everything. So back to the old people fighting for their lives, don't fight back. That's where I'm at too, folks. That's where I'm at too. without going long view on you. Fugazi reference. I'll just say that. I definitely am in the fighting for my life scenario of trying to find meaning in it all. Trying to find anything to believe in at all. Let me know if you got something. I don't think you do. So there's the whole, what do you do with all this, you know? Because people fighting for their lives don't fight back. And people that can't realize that we're not free can't ever really appreciate what true freedom is. I don't think anybody in this culture knows true freedom. I don't think we do at all. Because here's the biggest funny of July 4th, folks. The biggest funny of July 4th is that we're not free in the least. I was driving back a few hours yesterday through the lovely state of South Carolina and through the lovely state of North Carolina. Here I am. But all I saw was police on the road giving people the business, stealing money for the state. You gotta have a license for your car. You gotta have a license to drive. You gotta have a license to have a business. You gotta have a license to put up a lemonade stand. You gotta have a license to do major construction on your home. You've gotta have a license to do major electrical, plumbing, etc., and so forth, and even bound to the HVAC. But somehow people have this absurd misconception that we're free. This is kind of funny, really, that we haven't figured this out yet. Or maybe we have figured it out, but maybe people just don't have an answer like I don't have an answer. Maybe people are just trying to live, thrive, and survive by any means necessary. And maybe that's where we're at. I think that's kind of more to the point at this point, stage or lap in the race. I think that's exactly what's up. A lot of people are coming to grips with the fact that voting doesn't matter. Ironically, I knew this as a young teenager, and then I stupidly thought, you know what? I am conservative. That's who I am. I have very conservative beliefs. And this one party seems to say that they're part of that plan. And even though I knew in my heart voting was a scam, I was like, let's go vote for a couple years. What the F, you know? Why not? So you figure out it's all a scam, a con, a hustle, and a dodge. Doesn't matter. Even if your supposed clown candidate gets in, it still doesn't matter, folks. Because as the great George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in the club. So, I guess that's a little bit to cogitate, stew, or otherwise think about for this July 4th. What does it all mean, huh? What does belief in whatever you believe in actually translate to? Where the rubber meets the road. Does it translate to anything? Is it all just a bunch of horse? You know? Because to me, all of it is just a bunch of horse. That's all it is. From the religion to the politics to the structure of the community to the structure of the society. It's all just horse feces, folks. And I've seen a lot of people post about this, or at least it's kind of their version of this recently. And I've talked a lot about consciousness on the show lately with the last few guests I've had on. And I do believe it's kind of that 100th monkey thing. I think it's the Great Awakening, but not as the Q-tards portray it. Not as the, where do we go, oh, that's just stupidity. I think people are understanding. And again, I don't know how you get your leg out of the trap, because it is the normalcy bias. They're understanding that our entire existence is a bunch of horses. It really is. So we have to work to live. We have to work to get money, to buy food, to buy water, to have proper sewer, to have a house, to have health care, to be able to travel. And then you have to have money just to do those things, but you also have money to pay for the privilege of doing those things. Not exactly the 1776 you thought it was, huh? So when you're getting pulled over on the highway, when you're paying taxes for the fireworks, when you're paying taxes for all those aforementioned things and so much more, when you've paid off your house, but maybe you forgot the taxes, you will realize that it's not freedom. And I know some giblet head's going to go liberty and freedom and get in the comments and horse ass around about that, but to me, it's all about freedom, folks. I don't care how you define it. To me, I want to be free from all that horse. You know what I mean? And pretending you're free doesn't mean anything. And most Americans are at the point, even if they're awake to this, they still pander to the once a year celebration, but it's a mockery, folks. It's a humiliation ritual. It's a humiliation ritual because you can still get a ticket on the highway for going 10 miles over the speed limits. It's a humiliation ritual because I have to go to South Carolina to buy certain fireworks to use them in North Carolina. It's a humiliation ritual because we're free, but yet there's still people doing some labor just so they can get water, food, have a house. It's all a flipping scam, folks. It's all a scam, a hustle, a dodge, and a con. So it's really just how much of the BS do you want to believe? How much of the BS do you want to go along with? How much blue pill do you want juxtaposed to the red pill? Because if you want the red pill, you actually have to take the whole red pill. The red pill means actually coming to grips with it all. That Jesus was never about religion. The church was. The church that killed him. He was never about government. He was never about any of that. Isn't that wild? He was never about being worshipped. One thing that always flips me out, and it's always stuck in my craw, and I've never been able to fully digest it. I don't want to go on a religious jag, but I guess I'm going to. The worship of something. That's always freaking me out. The worship of something. So in our society, people worship celebrities, they worship these icons of sports, and they worship their politicians, and they worship. And even on down to Christ or God. You know, oh, it's three people. I don't understand how that is. This doesn't make any flipping sense. Oh, it's so spiritual and so godly, you just don't understand it. What? But anyway, the worship thing has always tripped me out. And then I started looking into it, and it's like, well, Jesus never told anybody to worship him. Maybe that's why it always tripped me out. Because in my mind, you know, having a, we'll just say academic and keep it broad background, I understand cargo cults and different Aboriginal cultures, and you know, all the way back to Quetzalcoatl and these stupid deities of Greek and Roman mythology, or if you want to say lore or fact, whatever floats your boat, man. So whenever I heard the word worship, that's what triggered in my mind. I was like, okay, like the cargo cults, like the frickin' natives on the Pacific Islands that worshipped cargo mistakenly being dropped on their island. Like, oh my gosh, we got food and we got all this stuff. Just fell out of the sky. I think, ooga booga, we're all going to get down and kneel. We're not worthy. We're not, yeah. The old Saturday Night Live thing that made into a movie. Wayne and Garth. We're not worthy. Yeah, that never made sense to me. I never felt that way. I never thought that was correct or good. And then you read, and Jesus was never like that. Jesus was never saying that to anybody. He was never wanting to be worshipped. Jesus never wanted to be worshipped. He never wanted a religion built on him. He never wanted a cathedral built based on him. In contrast, he told these people to get up, don't wash my feet, I'm going to wash your feet. Get up. Don't do that. I'm going to wash your feet. I'm going to put oil on you. But somehow, we've turned it into the complete inversion of it. And no one seems to bat an eye about that. It seems weird, doesn't it? We're still caught up in this worship thing. Don't even get me started on Christmas and all the pagan holidays. It's just weird. Weird. Very weird. I want to talk one more thing and just sort of link things back in, and I got to roll inside. I'm sweating my face off. I got a little fan down there. I'm just not going to cut it on, but old Eisenhower, the domino effect of communism. That was the glory days of the Cold War. We've got to go fight Vietnam. Well, first and foremost over a false flag, but if you believe the hype from Eisenhower, it's because if we don't stop communism in Vietnam, it will spread to these other countries. So we got to go play global policeman based on a false flag. Even though we're funding the communists, we've got to go sacrifice. And that same stupidity has been used in the Middle East as we continue to fight wars for Israel. The Greater Israel Project, you know, we had those 7 countries, I believe it was, in the PNAC documents. We've got to go take out all these countries. Same sort of thing. They just kind of rebranded, refranchised the brand. Went from that old Hardee's logo to the little stupid star logo, I guess. Draw your parallels, as I know you will, with the stupid star logo. The star rim band. So it's as if there's all this factual information out there. And you've got one party that's complete bedlam. You know, the Communist Party, just a whole party of idiots. And then you think to yourself, well, that other party, they've got to be the party on the right side, right? And then you start to uncover just a little bit of basic stuff, and you realize they're just dumb, just as dumb. They're just still believing the sanitized version of reality without looking into the real truth of it all. Isn't that what we're all supposed to be doing, is finding the truth? That was the calling card of the show, propagating truth in a world of lies. That is the Anomic Age, anomicage.com. So I can't very well go out there and propagate half-truths in a world of lies. I can't give you half the story in a world of lies. I can't sit here and say, oh, lovely, Old Testament, New Testament, it's all wonderful. Keep worshiping, keep praising, what? Just doesn't make sense, folks. So, trying to find sense in the senselessness. It's kind of where we're at. Finding sense in the senselessness. I guess that's where we're going to leave it today, folks. Finding sense in the senselessness. If you got any comments, questions, concerns, or otherwise, you know where to find me. anomicage.com. Might start doing this a little bit more. I might even, dare I say, do this in the evening. Might be fun to do this at night. Maybe 10 degrees cooler, I don't know. You got a lot of people, I saw, and I posted myself, the Weather Dominator from G.I. Joe from 30 plus years ago. They're in their 40, I guess. It is 40 years ago. Good grief. The Weather Dominator. And they're saying, oh, there's terrible heat waves everywhere. It's weather weapons. No, I'm not saying weather weapons don't exist. I'm not even saying they're not being used. But I'm saying, and it's July in the sucky South, formerly great state of North Carolina, so you would expect it to be 100 degrees. It's hot, horrible, humid, bugs everywhere. It's terrible out here. That's why I'm going inside. But I don't know if all of this is what we believe it to be. Just don't. Like, it's a great song by 108, I am not as you portray me. Ain't that the truth, folks? So I don't ever want to be misquoted or misportrayed or backed into a Sacred Cow Corner. Because I got no sacred cows in my barns, folks. I'm always coming out both barrels blazing at any and all hypocrisy and any and all lies. On that note, I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the Anama Cage. Have a lovely July 4th, slaves. Try to get out there and do some slaving. Remember, they need your money. They need your help. Like that old Suicidal Tendencies song, send me your money, baby. You got to go out there and slave for Uncle Sam. You got to sacrifice yourself and your kids for Uncle Sam. We know Uncle Sam's really Uncle Netty Net, isn't it? All right, folks, be safe. I'll talk to you sooner than later in the Anama Cage.